Hey, Kira, here we are again.
Yes.
It's so good to see you. You know, this podcast gives us an excuse to get together.
I know. I get an excuse to just not do any homework and escape, and then I can be like, I had a really productive day filming for my podcast.
Yeah, well, you're usually so busy. I just don't get any time with you.
Yes.
It drives me crazy because you're getting older and time's going by and the clock is ticking and pretty soon you'll be in college and then I'll never see you. So this is a great opportunity.
Yes.
Hey, and following up on our last podcast, we were talking a lot about you and school and the pressures of school on you and other teenagers. I realized I don't even know what classes you're taking this time. You told me that it's really hard this semester.
Yes.
So tell me, what are you taking?
I have 7 classes, which is pretty rare for a junior. Most people take a free period. I had one, and then I was like, no, I want to take more classes. Which was a terrible decision. I am so overworked. But I am taking a street law and psych class.
Street law. Let me think. Let me process this.
Okay.
Street law, and I know you're interested in politics and law and all that. That's good.
And then the other semester of it is psychology.
Psychology, which was my major as an undergraduate, psychology and biology. So, wow, I get that completely.
I'm very excited. I'm starting it after the winter break. So we have our first semester is street law.
Oh, I see. It's a continuation.
Yes, and then the second semester is psychology.
Very good.
And that's one of my electives. Then I take my math class, which is an honors class. I then have my other elective, which is called AVID. It is a college preparatory class, life skills, fine-tuning like soft skills, like public speaking, communication, organization, stuff like that. It's really helpful.
That sounds like an amazing class, actually.
It is.
Like, that sounds like a class that will serve you for the rest of your life.
Definitely.
Like in the business world or whatever world you go into later, learning.
Definitely. And we do a lot of research. We do a lot of research on colleges. It's very interesting and very helpful and very anxiety inducing.
Why is it anxiety inducing?
Oh, just thinking about college in general.
You mean choosing and
the stress of getting in and the stress of, figuring it all out.
Yeah.
It's very stressful.
We talked about that. I think your junior year where you are now is the most stressful. I mean,
100%.
for sure.
So after AVID, I have chemistry, which is a required class.
Yay.
Very nice.
Do you actually have a chemistry lab where you
do.
Where you put together chemicals and make reactions?
Ventilated cylinders. I do. Chem is a great class. I've never been a science person, but it's interesting.
You have to have a good teacher for science.
I have a very good teacher this year for the first time ever.
That
I'm always stuck
exciting.
with the bad ones. That makes it exciting. And then my 5th class.
Do a shout out to your teacher.
Shout out to Mr. Addison.
Yay, Mr. Addison.
He's a great teacher, very kind,
All right.
Makes things fun. I then have AP Comp, which is AP Composition and Literature.
Okay.
And that is one of my hardest classes, definitely, because it's an AP, which means college level. And if I take the AP exam and I pass, it's out of 5 points. And if I pass with a 4 or a 5, I think even a 3 is a pass. I don't have to take the class in college, which is really nice.
Was that the class that you were talking about that you had you needed to do a certain reading and I suggested you read Cast?
Yes.
By Isabel Wilkerson?
Yes.
Yes. And you liked that book, right?
It was fantastic. I thought she was a great writer, and I thought, for a lot of kind of talking about the same subjects, she doesn't go in circles, which is so nice to read.
I thought with that book for me, it actually gave me some different ways of looking at, race relations, prejudice, all of that, because she compared some of the race issues we have in America with, black, white, people of color, with the persecution of the Jews. And then what was the third thing? She contrasted 3
She did many great things in that book, and I thought it was really well written, and it was a really good recommendation for a class where I have to write and do a lot of analysis.
Yes.
Finally, my last 2 classes are an honors Spanish class.
You love that.
Which I love. I love speaking Spanish. I'm going to take AP next year, and then hopefully I'm going to continue it in college, so that way I can become fluent. And then finally I have AP US History, which is kind of known as the devil of all APs.
Okay.
It is incredibly hard and difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never gotten a B in a class.
It's US History?
Yes.
So it only starts, it's only a couple hundred years, right?
Yes. We start off in the really early 1700s.
Okay.
But that is definitely my most difficult class.
Interesting. Okay.
Just because it's lots of memorization, it's dates, it's a lot of super deep analysis about what caused what. But, I think it's really good to have classes, even necessarily that I don't love, because it really pushes me to actually focus. And even if I'm not fully retaining, like, information about the English colonies, like, I'm getting better at not procrastinating and forcing myself to sit down and write and do my work. And so even though it's not my favorite, it's a very valuable class. Excellent. And also great for getting into college.
So these are the classes you're taking now, and then it switches, or is this, you have another semester. And then do you get to pick new classes for the next
senior year?
No, but junior
semester
continues.
2.
Yeah.
I have the same classes, except for street law and psych. That's the only class I have that's a half semester.
Oh,
class.
I see. So the rest just go the whole year.
Yes. Oh. And I think it's really nice because there's only, like, especially in something like street law, we could take the full year for it, but there's so much that you can learn in half of the year that having another class, like, after, like, I'm very excited to come back from break and have a whole new class.
Yeah. In fact, it's kind of strange to have the same, I thought it was kind of strange to have the same class through the whole year.
Yeah.
Is that how it is with all the ones you choose?
Yes. It's very rare that it's a half semester
That's different.
class.
And same teacher then.
Same teacher.
So, wow, that's really a lot of continuity and pressure.
Yes. And it's also, like, very stressful on grades because you have the same grade pretty much the whole year, depending on, like, your assignments, your tests, stuff like that. Like, there's no, like, startovers.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Thanks for letting me know kind of where you're at this point in time.
I was curious. I mean, personally, I am a math and English person. Spanish I love, but that's random. But, like, I'm definitely math and English centered. And I feel like that leads into my career. Were you in love with, because obviously you made a really great name for yourself in the field of medicine. I was wondering, like, was that an interest from you when you were in high school, when you were in middle school? Like, you didn't even think about it till you went to college? Like, how far does it go back for you?
Oh, that's a great question. It was a little bit different for me in high school because I wasn't nearly driven like you are. And we did not have the kind of pressure that you have. It wasn't hard to get into college. There wasn't, you wanted to get good grades if you cared about grades, but honestly, there was not this pressure for a grade point average. I don't even know if we had grade point averages. We might have just had pass, fail, seriously. So I took, random classes, and there were some I liked and some I didn't. I always liked English and reading, and those kinds of classes were appealing to me. I didn't really get into the science classes until college.
See, it's so different.
I don't even remember. I must have had a science class, but I don't remember it being a big focus.
Did you have mandatory classes that you had to take in high school?
In high school?
Because we had mandatory classes all the way up until junior year.
We did.
And senior year.
We did. We had, it was, the math classes and the English classes kind of were the mandatory. And
history and science?
Of that. And history and science, I'm sure were in there. Anyway, to be honest, it was a long time ago, and I do not remember being I always got good grades, just kind of naturally, but I don't remember being much of a scholar or paying that much attention to my classes, in all honesty. High school for me was kind of social. I mean, it was being with my friends, and it was having a boyfriend, and it was a more of a social thing, not an ambition kind of experience. Right. Which, in a way, you know, I'm glad it was. I feel for you.
Yeah, I'm very jealous.
I feel for you. I really do.
You know what? It does make me a little like melancholy sometimes. Like, yes, I know all the stuff that I'm doing is leading to some great future, and it's gonna help me get into a good college. But you know, I do like wish there was a little part of me that like could just like get all Fs and just have so much.
Just have fun.
Just have so much fun and not care.
It's not, you know, the world has changed. I mean, we talked about that, about the, you know, driving kids, you know, when they're in pre-K to read and, you know, doing, instead of, we're not, in my opinion, we're not focused enough on what you get in that one class you mentioned, the college, the AVID class, where you learn how to maneuver in life.
Yeah.
I always
said there should be a life skills class, like taxes. I mean, I genuinely have friends that...
You don't have to worry about taxes yet, please. See, that's what I mean. It's pushing you into this kind of having to be worried about things that are not at this stage of your life. Now, yes, when you're in college and starting your work career in college, then it's really good to learn money management. I mean, money management's good now too. Of course. You know, taxes and, you know, it's kind of like I always feel like there's stages in life, and when young women, I don't think young women need to worry about menopause. You know, everything now is, you know, focused on menopause. That comes later. You know, you start worrying about that. I mean, what you need to be worrying about is how to have a relationship, and how to have friendships, and how to be a nice person.
Yeah. Well, because of the competition. I mean, I recently was watching a student-made documentary about Lowell High School, which is a city. It's the best high school in the United States, and it's in San Francisco.
Oh, really? Well, I know about...
Or it might be the best high school in California.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's incredibly competitive, and I watched the documentary in school, and it was really telling. I mean, these kids especially, I mean, I work hard, and people I know work hard, but these kids, if you are not going to an Ivy League, you're under the bridge. Do you know what I mean?
That's just so wrong. There, you know, it does not... I know nobody will believe this, but your college experience does not have to be one of the named colleges. I mean, it really doesn't, and it doesn't necessarily set you up for life to go to an Ivy League school. Of course. I remember when I was an intern, one of my fellow interns was from Harvard.
An intern in medical school?
In medical, not medical school, after medical school, when you do your internship.
Yes.
And he was the worst of all the other interns.
You're like, I remember him so clearly. He was horrible.
Yeah. So these named schools don't necessarily produce the most successful people.
Yes.
I think the reason why parents push kids to go to the named schools, the Harvards, the Stanfords, the Princetons, the Ivy League schools, is for the contacts, you know, because then you're in the club. Yes. You are in that elite club of wealthy people, and we know how that turns out in America. That's not a bad club to be in, to succeed financially. It doesn't mean you succeed as a person, and it doesn't mean you succeed in your work life. Anyway, just my thought. So college should be the school that suits you and suits your personality.
For a small price of $100,000.
Right. Right.
I know. Right. Since a lot of my friends are seniors, there's a lot of college decisions coming out now.
I know.
Like some of my best friends have gotten a lot of acceptances and some rejections, of course.
Oh, they're already getting them, huh?
Yeah, just a couple. But it's so competitive and it's so interesting. You know, people who work so hard to get into these colleges. I know a guy personally, and he's going to a college that's $100,000 or $95,000 tuition.
Oh, that's, I think, pretty typical for some of these.
I mean, it's just shocking. Yeah. I mean, you work. It's just. I mean, I feel like if you work, shouldn't your reward be you get to go? You know, and get this higher level of education. It's like no. You get to work really hard, and then you get to be in debt. The graduating in debt is that. Well, that's a huge problem that, you know, the government tried to deal with unsuccessfully with forgiving student loans. Anyway, that's a whole different subject that very political and very. Yes.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a backlash against these high-priced colleges, though. It's coming because people.
I mean, and it definitely limits me. I mean, I've not thought about one college that's not in California because
of out-of-state tuition. Yeah.
Yeah, but even in California, I mean, my dream school would be USC, but it's private. I mean, that's a $90,000 tuition college.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, you have to get grants, loans, go into debt. Hope that your parents can afford to support.
While simultaneously all just trying to have fun in high school and not worry about anything.
It's so sad that it's really a shame that this kind of pressure is on. You know, I think in other countries though, in Europe, there's tremendous pressure. I know I have some friends that are Swiss and French, and you know, you get kind of put into categories depending on your performance at certain points in junior high and high school, and you can't get out of it. You know, you're in a different track.
Yeah, and you know, even though there's not specific paths or boxes that people are put into, you know, it does feel really hard. I mean, I have some friends personally who never really, probably not until junior year, really cared about school. Like, yeah, I'll get okay grades. Right. I'll get C's and B minuses.
Like I was.
And I'll coast, you know. And now it's like, I mean, I feel even worse for them because now the pressure is tripled. You know, it's not like, you can get, you're, you know, an okay student, you're a good student.
They've kind of woken up to.
Yeah, well, it's like, you know, if you want to do anything with your life, it seems, not saying this is the truth, but basically the message we're told is that you want to be successful, you want to go to a good college, you want to have a house, you want to be able to live in a place as expensive as where we live, you have to have good grades all through high school. I mean, I know people that, you know, they get one test score and it's just, they're devastated. Because it's really is connected to everything.
Well, again, though, I think it's that pressure to be accepted into one of the elite kind of schools. And, you know, if you really look at it, junior colleges are for everyone.
Yes.
They're for everyone. You can screw up in high school. It's important to graduate high school.
Definitely.
But you can go to a junior college.
So you
can get a good education, and then you can transfer to university, and your degree comes from the university. So it's not all lost for your friends. It's too bad that they feel that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what causes, you know, depression and anxiety. What we're seeing so much in young people is this pressure and not an understanding of the long game. The long game being, you know what? You're going to make mistakes. You're going to maybe not make the right choices when you're 14 or 15. But nothing is irreversible. You kind of grow up, you wake up, you go, hey, I'll go to junior college. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's like a lot of times you do it out of choice, not as a default. But yeah, junior college is great. I can live at home. I can save some money. I can work part-time if I want to.
I have one of my best friends is actually doing that. And I think it is the smartest decision.
It's smart.
That she's ever made.
She's not in. She won't be in debt. Her parents won't be in debt. She's not going to be as depressed.
And especially if you have siblings that are younger than you. I mean, this good friend of mine, she's going to do one because she wants to come to college with me, so she's going to transfer in. She says wherever I go, but she has two siblings. One of them is a freshman in high school, and one of them is in 7th grade. I mean, it's really a hard time. So being able to be there for your family, I mean, you don't have to. You can have your own car. You can live at your house.
It's a smart decision. It's a smart decision.
You can also work and make money.
Yeah, there's lots of different paths. So it's just sad when people feel like there's so much pressure to do it a certain way.
Yeah.
And
so would you say your advice is for younger people to remember that you have lots of different options and different paths, and not every path will lead where you think it does?
Well said. I mean, my path was completely different. Didn't even go to college until I was 25. 25.
Yeah.
When I started college.
And let me just say, you've become immensely successful.
Well, I've once I grew up and once I knew what I wanted to do, and that takes growing up. Then I was nose to the grindstone and really focused and really had a goal in mind. But before that, I didn't, and it wasn't. I started late. People can start late, and sometimes you do have to just grow up first, have a little bit of life experience, and then make some decisions about your career path.
I mean, I know people, it's so stressful, going into college, deciding a major, deciding what you're going to do. I feel like if more people had someone like you in their lives to tell me what you just told me, they think, okay, maybe I can go in undecided and I can figure it out and I can get some experience and then I can figure out what I want to do in life without forcing themselves, I mean, me especially, I guess, I've always kind of been told, oh, you're good at debate, you're good at public speaking, you're passionate about this, you should go into law. And I feel like, I mean, partially it's my own choice, but partially it's what everyone else has told me.
Right, exactly. And you don't really know until you kind of have some different experiences.
Totally.
I feel like it's wonderful if people know what they want to do and they're driven at an early age. I get that, and I think that's one way, and people can have great lives that way. But if somebody is, say, in college and they're struggling and not happy, there is nothing wrong with taking a gap year. And I'm a big believer in gap years. I think adults should take gap years if they can. When things are not clear and you're unhappy, pulling back and letting the dust settle. Gap years are great. Especially if you can travel, have some different experiences, maybe go on a mission, or do a work study kind of thing. Anything where you get out of that stressful environment and just allow yourself to be with yourself and reset. I really believe in gap years. And even after high school, if you feel like you're just burnt out and don't want to go to college, a gap year is the way to go.
I think that is a great take. I think a lot of people are quite scared of gap years,
They're afraid they're going to lose out. They're afraid that they're going to fall behind.
But yeah, I think every point we've come to is a good one.
Yeah, you're not going to fall behind with a gap year. Anyway, there are many, many ways to live a life. I think that's what you learn as you get older and look back, or at least that's what I and seeing, dealing with so many people like I do, there are many paths that can be taken, and there's really no mistakes as long as you can reset. The only mistake is not resetting. That's the only mistake, of just falling into...
The only mistake is not resetting. Okay, got it. It's the only one I'll live by.
All right, I like that. I've actually given you a little bit of wisdom today. I haven't even thought about that. The only mistake is not resetting.
You're like, wow, I should live by this myself.
I should. Sometimes we never take our own advice. So, All right. Well, another kind of topic that I wanted to talk with you, because again, I'm always reading these articles, and I read another article, and it was a Pew study. And do you know what the Pew Institute is?
I do not.
So that's an institute. It's nonpartisan. They do big surveys of it's a nonprofit, and they do big surveys of, usually it's in the United States, of different topics, and you can trust their data usually. So this Pew study was having to do again with young people and social media, something we've talked about before. And I don't think it's a surprise, but what they found was that young people are spending almost all of their time, I don't want to say addicted, but it's kind of addicted, compulsively using social media. Mainly for young people, it's Snapchat, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube being the most popular for young boys, and Snapchat and Instagram for girls. And the compulsivity of it. Anyway, I just thought we should talk about that and get your impression of it, because I know how addictive it can be to scroll and just be given all that content.
Yeah, well, I think for a lot of people, similar to what we were talking about earlier, it's a reset. Like, I definitely use social media. You're not on your phone all day at school. I'm not on my phone at lunch. I'm with my friends.
You're not on your phone at lunch.
No.
Good.
Like, my phone, all day in class, your phone sits in the little number
That's
slot.
so great.
So no one's on their phone.
Good.
Basically, from 8 a.m. to 4 o'clock, I'm not on my phone.
So at school, they take your phone?
Not take it, but there's not really an opportunity to be on it that much.
Okay.
I mean, maybe there's a class where you're just sitting around and you can be on your phone for 30 minutes, but it's pretty rare.
Okay.
So from those time periods, I'm not on my phone. So the second I get home, my favorite thing to do is change out of my clothes, get into something comfy, get in my bed, and stare at my phone for an hour.
Okay.
And it really is a reset. And I found that, like, you mentioned, like, Snapchat and YouTube. I barely even count Snapchat as a social media anymore, just because, it's not like TikTok, it's not like Instagram in those ways. It really is like a WhatsApp or, a messages.
It's your communication.
It's the way I communicate.
Yeah, it's your
how
communication.
I respond. I'm not, like, on there, like,
so it's
just
it's
fun.
social. It's social.
100%.
You're totally with your friends.
Yes.
That's good.
Instagram, I personally don't really use. I mean, I watch Instagram Reels sometimes, but, like, I'll rarely check, like, see what my friends have posted and stuff like that. TikTok?
Oh, yeah, TikTok.
It's nice when I just... Sorry, excuse me. I'm thinking about TikTok and I'm getting all sleepy, like I'm in my bed. TikTok, I like to just scroll on when I need my brain to be dead.
Okay.
I don't want to think. And then YouTube is what I like to watch when I'm relaxed. Maybe I'm lying down for bed, but I want to, like, listen to something. I found that, like, actually trying to get off TikTok and go onto YouTube more is so much better. Because instead of 300 videos in 20 minutes, you're watching one video in 20 minutes. So, like, I feel like everyone, attention spans are, like, going like this. Like, it's so hard to, like, even watch a movie nowadays because I'm so used to, like, going like this. Like, I usually play a game on my phone, like, while I watch TV. Like, it's so hard.
Well, that is... So what you've said so far is, I think, fine. Absolutely fine. Because, before we had the handheld devices, the internet, we had TV. And there was always controversy about, are kids watching too much TV, and is it making them stupid, and is it dumbing them down, and TV's bad. All right, that was last century, right?
Yeah.
Now we're into
I don't watch TV at all. No one does.
Now the screens have replaced TV as the bad guy, right?
Yes.
The bad thing. And what you're describing doesn't sound so bad. Being able to relax, reset, maybe get a little, laugh a little bit at a funny cat, or communicate with your friends.
Yes.
I think the concern is when people are isolating with it. You're not isolating with it.
Yes. Well, it's just my personality type that one, I like being busy and I like being busy with others. Like, one friend will leave my house and I'll call my other friend and be like, hey, want to come over? Like, I'm just going to, like, clean and, like, make food and, like, you know, I have this errand to run and this errand to run. Like, come do it with me. Like, that's just who I am as a person. That's how I can live
Well, you're high energy and you're high social.
Yes.
So high energy, high social.
But that's, you know, a way for me to make the mundane things in life interesting. When you are stuck in that mundane, boring routine and your only source of serotonin, of, you know, kind of connection is through your phone, that's when it gets dangerous. And I've been in points in my life where I'm like that. You know, I go home after school and, you know, I didn't have a lot of friends and I would just, like, sit on my phone all night. And that was, like, my way I felt connected to everyone. You know what I mean? That's when it gets dangerous and that's when it gets harmful.
So tell me about chatbots. Do you know about chatbots?
Chatbots?
Chatbots are these
like
AI friends that, you know, I've been reading a lot and hearing a lot about young people, and maybe older people too, I don't know, young people who get one of these AI friends, chatbots, and, you know, they become like a real person, a real friend, and can, you know, they've talked about that some of these kids that have committed suicide, like the chatbot has somehow encouraged that, and you don't know anything about that.
No,
huh? Okay.
I don't.
You don't do that. You don't have an AI friend.
No.
Good.
I mean, I think that's maybe. I haven't seen anything. Maybe it's the next podcast topic. An AI telling a kid or encouraging them subliminally to commit suicide, I think that is not true.
60 Minutes had a thing on it last week. 60 Minutes, a news show that I watch on Sundays. And it was like really horrifying.
Well,
it was horrifying.
That is horrifying, period. And I don't think anyone
right.
would contest that.
Yeah.
I personally haven't seen that.
Okay.
Everyone I know on Snapchat has something called My AI, which is like your own AI. You can talk to you about anything. Like, you could ask them, like...
That's it. That's what we're talking about.
Like, but I don't know anyone that uses it.
Oh.
I do not know anyone. I haven't used it in years. Like maybe I'll ask it like a math question or.
Well, that's different if you're using it to, you know.
It's just
research.
it's just a ChatGPT.
But I'm talking about
with a different
ones
face.
That you talk about your inner feelings and.
Well, you can. Here's what I'm saying. You can talk about your inner feelings to any of these AIs. They'll all give responses like that.
That's
you can
what
say,
it is.
"I'm feeling depressed. I want you to give me advice as if you were my mom." And the ChatGPT will be like, "Hi, sweetie. Like, I'm sorry you're feeling so down, babe. Like, I really want you to know I love you." Like, it's terrifying. I mean, you can ask it to do stupid things too. Right. Like, explain, you know, ionic bonds to me as if you were a snail. And it does that. You know what I mean? Like, you can be... Wow, there's a thin line of, like, stupid and concerning.
Yeah, I think that when I say chatbot, that's exactly it. It's called, I didn't know it was on Snapchat, but so it's I don't even know how you'd find one, but you're saying they're easy to
Everyone's comes pre-downloaded onto their Snapchat.
That's it. Well, you know what? You're an unusually balanced, well put together human.
Well,
I mean, you really are. And I'm sorry, not everyone has family they can turn to, insight about themselves like you have, maturity like you have. And I can just see a sad, depressed young teen getting into it with one of these AIs that just
and this
becomes
is even
their
scarier
best friend.
now that you bring it up. There's actually like chatbots that people like fall in love with.
Exactly.
Like people, they can talk to them and it can become like their girlfriend and their boyfriend. I think that's so harmful. And I think it makes, I think like what we were just talking about now, like, hey, like I'm really depressed, like give me advice. I think that's completely fine. I even think it's beneficial. Yes, it's partially strange because you're making a connection. You're getting help from something that is not sentient. It's a robot. But then also you can see the side of the coin that it's like you don't have anyone else to talk to. You don't feel comfortable talking to another person. I mean, this is the most non-biased, non-judgmental thing out there.
Well, how it's programmed though is key, and I don't think as a parent we know what it's going to say.
Yes.
So, if it says, yes, you're feeling bad, go out, just step outside and get in nature and start noticing, the world around you. Those are like helpful things. Or get up and do some exercise. Those are helpful things. We know from research that they actually help with depression, getting out in nature, exercising, eating properly, getting enough sleep. I mean, those are concrete things people can do. I don't know if that's what the kinds of things that chatbots or whatever they're called, AIs, are telling young people,
Yeah, but I feel like it's the same old question. Like, when I was a kid, it was like, don't talk to people online, like, and, they might tell you these things, and, like, I definitely did not listen to my mom whatsoever, and she had no idea. I mean, I think as a parent, it's really, you can try and keep your kids as controlled as possible, but they're gonna find ways to do dumb things, of course. Exactly. As a kid, I remember, and I was young, I was on, like, Discord and stuff like that, and, I feel like real humans told me way crazier, more harming shit than any AI ever has.
That's true. I think I think there's a lot that parents need to worry about, and should worry about with particularly younger kids who don't have the sensibility you have. Definitely. With being online. I mean, we all know about the crazy, horrible predators that pretend to be another teenage boy, and it's really some creepy guy in his underwear in Dallas,
Yeah, in a basement.
Yeah, in a basement. I mean, we know those horrid stories. And even though we know them, kids still get suckered into it. And, young girls get groomed that way, boys too.
Not only that, but there's a lot of unstable people that look for stability. And especially if you were a child like I was. I mean, I've always been the, like, people pleaser. Like, I'm very much more of like a mediator personality type. Like, I remember life coaching people who were like super depressed and like had suicide attempts and like would talk to it about me, and I was so young, and they like obviously didn't know how old I was, but I don't think they would have cared.
Were these strangers? Oh, strangers online, like on Discord or one of the Discord
or messaging. Like, you meet you meet on Minecraft, and then let's be friends, and it's. Well, yeah, actually, I'm an EMT, I'm 31 years old, and I've been really depressed. And I'm like, oh no, tell me about it. And I'm like, failed to mention that I'm in 6th grade and, 11.
Wow, my mouth just fell off. That. Yeah, so you've experienced it from the other side.
Totally.
With a good heart, expressing yourself to some, older person who needed help. Oh my gosh, it's crazy out there.
I think if I told my mom like this now, like I always like I do so much stuff, and because I have such a big mouth, some kids will like sneak out or drink, and they'll be like, I'm never telling my mom, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, me too, and then I'll tell her like 2 weeks later, and I'm gonna be like, guess what I did 2 weeks ago that you can't get mad at me now for. So all the time I bring up stuff, and I'm like, you want to know something I did when I was 13? Just because, it's been so long, there's no repercussions now. I think if I told her that, she'd be like, oh, God. And she'd, like, be like, oh no. And she'd be like, she'd just, like, walk away and be like, oh, God.
Oh, yeah. It's like, I'm glad I didn't know that then. I know I've experienced the same thing with my kids that, you know, as they're adults, they tell me about things. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't know that. You know,
I'm glad I was blissfully unaware,
yeah.
even though I should have been keeping you in check.
Right. I'm glad I was a bad mom. Well, Kira, next time, huh?
Next time,
we got the holidays coming up. I've got, here we go, peace on earth.
Some festive decorations.
Festive decorations.
No, we don't have a Christmas tree yet, but that is coming soon.
All right. Well, I'm so glad you're able to take a little bit of time to spend with me.
Yes.
I know, especially after hearing your schedule today. I know this is really.
Well, I think when I go home, I'm gonna, stare at my phone for a couple hours, message message some chatbots and have anxiety about everything. And
don't forget though, what was it that you can't make now I've forgotten the words of wisdom.
We can never
about something about
something
about a reset. The reset.
Yes.
As long as the only mistake is if you don't reset.
The only mistake is if you do not reset. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Oh.